Not much is known about Melania Trump's life before Donald Trump entered the picture, but every now and then small details surface, and together they start to form a clearer image.
Only I have my story. I know the truth.
Before politics, before the White House, there was modeling. And years later, the photographers who worked with her are the ones filling in the gaps, openly talking about their time with Melania, including some headline making, revealing photo shoots that still spark conversation today. Before she became the First Lady, she was Melania Knaus, a model building her career throughout the 1990s. And if you're wondering how serious that career actually was, her own White House biography quietly made the point for her. It listed some of the biggest names in fashion photography: Patrick Demarchelier, Helmut Newton, Arthur Elgort, Ellen von Unwerth, Mario Testino. Not exactly beginner-level credits.
And I travel around the world modeling and had a great career.
When Melania arrived in New York City in the late 90s, she landed one of her first major advertising campaigns in 1999, working with Peter Arnell for Concord Watch. Arnell later described the concept as pure luxury. The campaign was called Be Late, built around the idea that if you could afford a watch like that, time didn't really own you. In one of the shots, Melania is shown resting in bed, unbothered, unhurried. Arnell described her as great, sweet, normal, and very professional. He added, she entered the market at a very high level because Concord was considered an extremely luxurious product at that time. She represented serious luxury. She showed up extraordinarily in the photography. She was great.
It was very different. It was, nobody looked after you. You had an agent, but you were on your own.
Now, if we move slightly earlier, photographer Antoine Verglas worked with Melania roughly a dozen times starting in 1996. Jewelry campaigns, editorial shoots, even Sports Illustrated. He was the one who later suggested her for a British GQ cover inspired by James Bond. And yes, this is the shoot people still talk about. Verglas has been very clear over the years. There was no explicit imagery, only what he described as implied styling, which wasn't unusual for high fashion editorials at the time. According to him, the reaction said more about shifting public sensitivity than about the images themselves. In his words, Melania was a gorgeous and stunning model. Verglas also shared that Melania was discovered by Paolo Zampoli, who ran ID models at the time. And if you're wondering what she was like personally, his description is pretty consistent with others. She was pretty reserved. She was not an extroverted person. We were never close, but we worked together a dozen times. She was always very professional and nice to the staff and the people on the team around us. In other words, Melania wasn't chasing attention. She was focused on the work and treated the people around her with respect.
In the world of all of the strangers, you need to be very cautious. You need to be smart and also trust in yourself and listening your intuition.
Another photographer, Alexandra de Basville, who shot Melania in the mid-1990s for the fashion magazine Max, also noted that she stood out. At that time, many models from the Eastern Bloc were very thin, and de Basville noted that some even had dental issues due to the hardships of the era. About Melania, he said, "For me, it was really impactful to see a girl who was so well done, if I can say that. Her teeth were perfect. She didn't just fit the mold, she brought something different, polished and striking to the scene." Melania was not like a typical or regular woman who you could meet. In the way she talks, the way she acts, the way she lives, she has been preparing for something. There was something in her that was different, de Basville said.
Can you picture yourself the First Lady?
Yes, I will be very traditional, like Jackie Kennedy. I will support him. I will do a lot of social obligations.
And here's where her modeling background still quietly shows up today. Her longtime stylist, Hervé Pierre, has said that fittings with Melania are unusually efficient. As Pierre explains, as a former model, she will say, "I think you need to give me a little bit more of a cross shoulder. I think you need to give me an 1/8 of an inch here, and it should be fine." For designers, that kind of clarity is rare and incredibly helpful. Another rare glimpse of Melania's life before Donald came from someone who knew her long before the spotlight, her former boyfriend, Jure Zorsic. And here's something interesting. According to him, Melania never dreamed of moving to the US. She was never a typical Slovenian girl, Zorkic told ABC News. She wanted to live abroad, in Italy, France, a life of fashion. She was very fashionable, he added. But America? That was never on their radar. I think it was very far from our minds at that time, he said.
This is a small street in old part of town, Ljubljana. This is a place where I have met for the first time Melania.
The way they met almost sounds like a movie. Zorkic recalls it was a hot summer day in 1991, a tense time in Slovenia. In between wars, the city was empty, blocked by the army. He was riding his motorbike when he saw her walking down the street.
I have already passed her, and in my mind or in my head, I have one moment, wow, who was this girl? She's so beautiful. I must turn back. I must follow her.
So he quickly turned his bike around, caught up to her, and they struck up a conversation. And before long, he had her agreeing to go for coffee. Their relationship lasted a few months, and summer days were spent with friends along the Croatian Sea. Despite the brevity, Zorkic remembers her vividly. It was a bit of a shock when I met her, he said. She is very special. That's the truth. He was captivated from the very first moment. Her beauty, her style, the way she carried herself. She was tall, had long hair across her face. I could hardly see her eyes. Such style. Zorkic even remembers her wearing a full leather outfit, calling it the most fashionable piece he had ever seen.
She was very, very beautiful. I was impressed about her beauty from the first moment. She was very, very nice dressed, very extraordinarily dressed, and her behavior was very, very classy.
Eventually, Melania left Slovenia, and Zorkic admits he was surprised by her sudden departure. She spent a few years living in Paris and Milan before moving to New York City. She told me she had an offer with a hair care company for a campaign. That's why she went, he said. When Zorkic met her in New York in 2000, he was taken aback by something small but telling. She spoke to him in English instead of Slovenian. I asked her, "Did you forget that you are Slovenian?" He laughed. Melania shared that she was splitting her time between New York and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and had no plans to return to Slovenia. And of course, in 2005, Melania married Donald Trump. Zorkic reflected on it with a hint of awe.
Nobody believed 25 years ago that Melania Knaus will live at the top of the world. I mean, in New York City, which is the center of the world, on a Fifth Avenue in the Trump Tower. Who believed that? Nobody, for sure, even she.
Now Trump, with his flashy reputation, didn't exactly sweep Melania off her feet right away. In fact, she famously didn't give him her number immediately.
So he asked me for the number, and I said, I will not give you my number. So if you give me your numbers, I will call you.
Classic move, Melania. And it turns out Trump fell for this trick not once, but twice. His first wife, Ivana, also didn't give him her number right away. Looks like Trump has a thing for a little mystery.
I don't know what is Melania's problem. She just has to get over it. She's First Lady of America, but I'm First Lady Trump. Excuse me.
They eventually tied the knot in a lavish 2005 ceremony, surrounded by flowers and celebrities, but almost none of Melania's old friends were there. Guess those high-profile guest lists come with a few trade-offs.
Did you feel different when they said man and wife?
No. I felt that it was just so natural.
By 2014, Donald Trump was so obsessed with politics that even his advisors were wondering what he was thinking. So, after 24 years of incredible highs and lows, from her arrival in New York as a model to becoming the First Lady, Melania's story is nothing short of extraordinary. It's like the ultimate American dream, with a few nightmare twists along the way. And while it may seem surreal, one thing is undeniable. Melania Trump's rise from Sevnica to Washington, D.C. is one of the wildest American success stories ever.